My neighbor peed in our pool and told 30 parents it wasn't her problem, so I made her watch me drain the pool 17 times. The community pool at our complex had been peaceful for 5 years until this wannabe influencer moved in and decided she owned the place. Every Friday and Saturday, she'd roll up with speakers the size of refrigerators while live streaming to her 47 followers like she was running Coachella. 3 months of families calling security with no results until she finally crossed the line. That Friday night at 2 a.m., she live-streamed herself peeing in the pool to her 47 followers while too wasted to realize she was still recording, and someone screen-recorded her squatting over the shallow end while shouting, "This is my pool now, bitches," before she could delete it. The next morning, she stood in front of 30 horrified parents at the emergency HOA meeting wearing designer sunglasses indoors, and when a father showed her the screenshot his 8-year-old daughter had taken, she actually laughed and said, "If you don't want your kids seeing adult content maybe, you should monitor their phones better because your parenting isn't my problem." The HOA president said there was nothing they could do since she hadn't broken any written pool rules, and that's when someone mentioned the pool committee position had been empty for 3 years. I volunteered immediately while she was still standing there smirking at the room full of parents whose kids now refused to swim. Those words about our parenting not being her problem flipped something in my brain after 3 months of trying to be reasonable. I walked out of that meeting with the pool committee binder and master keys to the equipment room while she was still laughing with her friends about how she'd owned us. Through the clubhouse window, I watched her setting up for another party that night with a literal red carpet and realized I finally had the power to end this. When she arrived at 8 p.m. for her Hollywood Under the Stars event, she found me supervising my cousin's cleaning crew, draining the entire pool for emergency contamination protocol after her documented urination incident. "You can't prove that was pee!" she shrieked, while her friends stood behind her holding thousands of dollars in party equipment, and I pulled out my phone to show her the water test results with bacterial levels that made her face go white. She tried throwing her party anyway, setting up around the empty pool, but I'd scheduled the chlorine shock treatment with industrial fans blowing chemicals so strong her guests ran away, gagging, and her makeup literally melted off her face on her own livestream. When she screamed that I was ruining her life, I reminded her that her life wasn't my problem and watched her storm off to call what would be the first of many useless complaints. The next Thursday, she tried to outsmart me with a sunrise party, but found the pool filled with green dye for leak detection that would take 72 hours to clear. Saturday, she attempted a foam party at midnight, but I was already there with a construction crew resurfacing the deck. She brought lawyers who took one look at my documentation and told her she was lucky I wasn't suing for bioterrorism. Her friends tried bribing me with $5,000 cash, which I counted in front of everyone, then donated to the complex playground fund in her name. The entire complex started gathering every Friday to watch her arrivals like it was appointment television, and someone put up a whiteboard in the mailroom with cartoon drawings of each week's sabotage, including a stick figure of her melting from chemicals and another of her crying next to a jackhammer. Labor Day arrived, and she made one last desperate attempt at what she called the ultimate comeback, promoting it as the party that would destroy all her haters. But she arrived to find me with a full construction crew jackhammering the entire pool area for complete renovation. As her inflatable DJ setup deflated in the construction zone, and her guests watched her have a complete breakdown on Instagram Live, she asked how much longer I could keep this up. I showed her the stack of maintenance orders while saying, "I've got enough forms filed to keep this pool closed until you either move out or publicly apologize to every family in this complex, including the 8-year-old who saw you pee." She stood there shaking while her followers watched her realize she'd lost completely, and I walked away to supervise the destruction of her last party. She posted a tearful apology video the next day, then disappeared that weekend with a moving truck, and the pool stayed peaceful forever. But residents still mention the summer when someone turned pool maintenance into psychological warfare and won.